astronomical. Like, you're more susceptible to heat damage, and some people may or may not care, but it's certainly something that you should recognize that it can definitely happen. Hello everybody, and welcome back to my channel. And if this is your first time here, hello, welcome. This is Essential Patience, and I am Patience. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about the pros and cons of being a straight natural. If you don't know what straight natural is, it's basically somebody who has natural hair, so not relaxed, and they wear their hair straight, typically in silk presses, blowout. I'm not a straight natural. I know my hair is straight right now, but if you watch my typical content, you will know that I get a silk press once a year, but any other time I have my natural hair. And I have a whole video on how I grew my natural hair, so check it out if you haven't already. It's called My Natural Hair Journey. Really great video. But today we just want to explore the world of straight naturals, the pros, the cons, and if you should or should not do it, because I've definitely thought about it, and I'm sure some naturals have also done so. So let's talk about it. But before we do, remember to like this video, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and ring the notification bell so you do not miss out on any of my future videos. Let's get straight into it. What are the pros and cons of being a straight natural? The concept of being a straight natural is to wear your hair straight for the most part. Part of every wash day, a lot of them would blow dry their hair, press it with a flat iron, and wear their hair straight for a couple of weeks to a month, and then do it all over again. And a lot of them would have what they call heat trained hair. Now, whether you think it's heat trained hair or heat damage, that is up to your discernment, but that's what I've heard a lot of straight naturals call their hair. But typically it doesn't even matter because they wear their hair straight for the most part, so they don't need their curls popping. Any heat damage would be less likely to be seen because they wear their hair straight continuously. And there is an advantage to it. The first one being the easy day-to-day maintenance. So I've had my silk press in for over a week now, and I can tell you the maintenance is much less than when I have my natural hair. The day-to-day is not that much. I take a brush, I go through it, maybe a white tooth comb sometimes, and that's it. When I go to bed, I don't even have to fully wrap it. All I do is put a scarf over it. I have a video on my nighttime routine for my silk press. You can see how easy it is. I take it out, and then in the morning I'm ready to go. There's not much I have to do to it. I sometimes style it a little bit in terms of half up, half down, ponytail, low or high, but day to day, not much is needed for you to make your hair look nice to get out of the house. So certainly the day-to-day maintenance is much less than a lot of other natural hair. Which also goes on to the next point of the easy styling. There's so many things that you can do with your straight hair in a straight form, and it doesn't take a lot of time. Of course, you can always do the cornrows, plaits, you can do the half up, half down, you ponytail. There's so many other styles that you can do with your straight hair. If you're very creative, you can do even more. I don't do that much, but I can still tell you that it takes much less time to style it into whatever style that I want. And when you're doing a ponytail, like a slick back ponytail, or even just a low ponytail, you don't have to get gel, water, spray it, and brush it a lot, and put it all the way in the back, and take the shoelace. And it's just a lot of things that you have to do to natural hair that you don't have to do to get the same or similar results with your hair being straight. The fourth thing, of course, is that it shows your length. So if you have straight hair, you're able to more see the length and the growth in your hair. So now that I did silk press my hair, I can see the growth, the length, and currently it's about lower back length. And that's something I can easily see when my hair is straight versus when my hair is in its natural state. A lot of times it shrinks, and even though typically I wear my hair either in protective styles or stretched, I still find it more difficult to tell the length and the retention of my hair when it's in its natural state versus when it is long, because I could just look at it and know it. And even though I did get curls in my hair, it's almost all fallen out at this point, and even then I could still see it when it was in its artificial curl form versus when I'm in my natural curls. And the last pro is something that, even though it shouldn't be, it's definitely the truth, which is that it is more socially acceptable to wear straight hair in public. A lot of people don't bat an eye. They don't see that as distracting. They don't see it as an anomaly. They don't see it as making a statement. Versus when you wear your natural hair, all of a sudden you're making statements. A lot of people project so many things onto you, good or bad. And while it would be nice not to have that social stigma, It's unfortunately something that's carried on with natural hair, and therefore the antithesis of natural hair is seen as prettier because it's closer to that of whiteness. It is seen as more socially acceptable. It is seen as more presentable, more professional in comparison to natural hair. Now that we've talked about the pros, what are the cons? And the first one that I can certainly think of is the heat damage. The heat damage that you can get from straightening your hair every single month. Some people even do it every 2 weeks is astronomical. Like, you're more susceptible to heat damage. And some people may or may not care, but it's certainly something that you should recognize that it can definitely happen. So the best thing to do is to use heat protectants generously every single time that you blow out your hair, and also avoid touching up your hair after you do it. So maybe a week or two in, your hair may not look as straight as possible. Don't go in with more flat iron, more heat to make it look very straight or bone straight. And as you can see, I don't touch up my hair. Since I got my silk press, I have not done any type of heat styling on it. I like to keep it the way it was made and ride it out till the end, then wash it. And then I'm not gonna put any heat on it. But if you continuously flat iron it over and over again each day to make sure your part looks perfect, if the hair is as flat as it can be, you will get all of that, but you'll also get heat damage along with it. And with that heat damage, you're also going to diminish your hair's health with continuous heat. It's not healthy. It's just not healthy to continually put a lot of heat on your hair. It can make your strands look more fragile, make it more susceptible to heat damage, breakage. And I am sure that's something that you do not want. Sometimes you see people who have really thick hair towards the roots, but then their ends are struggling and you can see space in it when they flat iron it, and that's not a good look, but also it's just not healthy for your hair. The next thing is the reduced versatility in your hair, or the hairstyles that you can do. Afros are not gonna hit the same. The twist outs, mini braids, mini twists, and even braid outs are not gonna hit the same. I see this when people also relax their hair or they use heat excessively. Styles are just not the same. Even wash and go, those who can really do good wash and goes and it's popping after they relax their hair or use heat excessively, it just doesn't look the same. And some of the pieces are not curling at the ends. So overall, you want to make sure that you understand what you're doing. And now if you're gonna commit to this straight hairstyle, know that some of the natural hairstyles are just not gonna look the same. And if you're okay with it, then great. If you're not, then you probably need to not do it or even think longer about it. Are you willing to sacrifice all of that to be a straight natural? The next thing you also have to deal with in all of this is the inconsistent curl pattern, which again can be shown in the lack of versatility in the hairstyle. Because sometimes when you look at people that have heat damage, it's not the exact same heat damage all throughout the hair, because at least that would be coherent. Now, some people have different types of hair strands in your hair. So I have 4A, 4B, 4C hair, and they all take heat differently. So if you also put too much heat on one side, which is very likely, you would see that that's how be more heat damage than the other. So the curls will be less showy than other parts of your hair that say you don't put as much heat on it. Excessively using heat as a straight natural will not only just change your curl pattern, but it will be inconsistent throughout your hair. And that's not a bad thing if you're always keeping it straight, but let's say you didn't want to wear straight for a time. Then you will just have to be more creative in the hairstyles that you do in order not to have the heat damage be at the forefront of your hairstyle. And the last but absolutely not the least is that you cannot go back after a while. Well, you can with a big chop, but you're going to have to commit to a big chop in order to transition to being a minimal use of heat natural. If you sustain a lot of heat damage all over your hair, it's just gonna be much harder to transition to a regular natural because you have already had so much heat on your hair, some are damaged, and it's just not gonna look the same. And that's just trade-off in being a straight natural, and then you change your mind and then you want to go back. But at the end of the day, you should do what works best for you. Different people have different lifestyles, and therefore different styles will work for them. But just make sure that you know what you're doing, you consider all of your options before you commit to being a straight natural. So with that, I'm bringing this video to an end. Thank you all so much. Like, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and ring the notification bell so you do not miss out on any of my future videos. I know certainly consider it because I do not like relaxers, and I do not want to use any relaxer in my hair, but sometimes I'm so busy that I'm like, it would be so much easier to be a straight natural. But even with that, I still straighten my hair only once a year because I do not want the potential heat damage as well as all the other negative things that goes along with being a straight natural that I have talked about. So leave in the comment section. I will do my best to read all of your comments and respond to them. them. Thank you all so much again. And if you enjoyed this video, watch another one. I have like 200 videos on my channel. I'm sure you'll find something that you enjoy. So again, thank you all so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.